Army just did something that nobody had done before. Went to San Antonio and won a football game against the Roadrunners, meet me, on their home field. That's tough. That's a difficult thing to do. So Army is bowl eligible, and Navy has had a great year. Navy's 9-2. They've only lost this season in consecutive games, mind you, to North Texas and Notre Dame. Now, those teams have something in common. Their offenses, throwing the football, are very explosive. This may shock you, but Army is not a behemoth throwing the ball. They average 78 passing yards a game. I love the Army-Navy game. It's something that I think we all just watch and enjoy and appreciate every year. Should it have its own standalone weekend? If we were to make a perfect college football calendar, I think it would stand alone, but not as an entire week of college football. Like, there should be games this week. But somehow, Army-Navy needs to stand apart. I haven't put full thought into how we do that just yet, but I bring this back to the actual football game. According to our friends at FanDuel, and the Navy defense has not always been stellar this season, the over-under on this one, 38.5. It's the same sort of game every year. The players change. Sometimes the coaches change. But the way that this game looks never changes. And you know what? As somebody who doesn't always want things to change just for the heck of it, I appreciate that about this game. The honor, the respect, the pride, the patriotism, it's all there. It is a wonderful, wonderful spectacle. You've got everybody in their military outfits. It's great. It's great. The uniforms, always really good. I love everything that this game stands for. So, Navy's favored, according to our friends at FanDuel, by 6.5 points. Now, Blake Horvath is, I believe, expected to play in this particular game, and Horvath has just been awesome. Absolutely awesome this season. And I think that by the way, do you know that Blake Horvath has a 300-yard passing game this year? Do you know the last time it happened? In the other Service Academy game that Navy played. Back on October 4th against Air Force, went for 339 and 3 touchdowns. I didn't even know that was possible, but with Blake Horvath, it is. Now, of course, the team that runs for more yards in this game is going to win. Horvath actually hasn't gained 100 yards in a game himself since November 1st against North Texas, a game that Navy, of course, lost. Navy's been the better football team this year. But I just wonder, Army's won a couple in a row. You got everything to play for in this game because this is all the game, or excuse me, they've won 3 of 4, and they only lost by a point to Tulsa in the game that they actually lost. So, are you going to come into this game and see it as, well, that's all we've got to play for? There's nothing else. Both these teams are going to go to a bowl game, which still means something to both of these programs. But the beautiful thing about this game is you already know the answer to the hypothetical I just posed. This is the game. There are no larger ramifications. There's no college football play, nothing. It's just Army-Navy, and these two teams that respect each other so much, man, they want to win. Man, they want to win so very badly. Now, my general rule of thumb, which hasn't always come to fruition, of course, has been take the points in a rivalry game. And you know what? In a low-scoring game like this one, I'm going to do just that. Because Army has started to play some seriously good football. I'm tempted, very tempted. It's amazing how much of a mirror image these two teams are statistically. Army rushes for 257 per game. They allow 147 per game on the ground. Navy, meanwhile, runs for 298 a game and allows 143 per game on the ground. The explosive runs, not just the ground game in general, the explosive runs, I think, are going to define this one. Can Blake Horvath get loose? Or can the cadets keep him contained? Because if you get him into the second level, he will go. He will go. This is not about which quarterback can find more of a rhythm. I think that Navy wins the game, but I think it is hard fought. I think it is really, really tough. I think this game is always that way. It has the same sort of feel. It's going to be cold, physical, triple option, 24-21. 24-21, give me Navy to squeak out a win over Army in America's game. By the way, pivoting a little bit to wrap today's show, the coordinator carousel continues to move about. I talked about this earlier in the week because there's a great hire made at Nebraska. They brought in Rob Aurick from San Diego State to be their defensive coordinator. Deion Sanders at Colorado brought in Brendan Marion to be the Buffs' offensive coordinator. I loved both of those moves. This might be my new number one hire of this coordinator cycle. I still might lean Brendan Marion, but man, Jim Knowles going to Tennessee. Jim Knowles going to Tennessee. He was not retained by Matt Campbell. Once he got to Happy Valley, he's going to have his own staff. Can certainly understand and appreciate that. It's wild that a guy that won a national championship in 2024 is on his third team in 3 years. I don't think that's happened very often. But Tennessee has found their way into having the sort of success in the coaching carousel that they needed to. Because if you watch Tennessee this year, there were two consistent themes. Number one, their defense could not defend the pass very well. Jim Knowles, really good proven track record here. Number two, and I'm not taking the Penn State season, which, by the way, almost resulted in a win against Indiana. Don't forget. I'm not putting too much into what happened this year, although there were plenty of good results on the defensive side of the ball. You go back to that game against Oregon that sent Penn State into a tailspin. Defense was not the problem for Penn State whatsoever. Does Tennessee need to up their personnel? Maybe in a couple spots. They're going to lose, and they haven't had McCoy in the back end of the defense for most of the season. But do they have better personnel than what they put on the field this year? Yeah, absolutely they do. They do. And I think Jim Knowles is the sort of hire that shows Tennessee is committed the way that they should be. As Josh Heupels famously said, no one person is bigger than the power T. Well, the power T's now got a real defensive coordinator, and that change needed to happen because that was one theme this year. They couldn't stop teams, especially throwing the football. Number two, Joey Aguilar couldn't protect the football. But guess what? Between those two, I'd rate the defense as a bigger problem than Joey Aguilar. He did about what I expected him to. Tennessee did what I expected them to. My preseason record prediction for them, which I hit 58% of, by the way, on the over-unders, with the lines being provided by our friends at FanDuel, of course. I feel pretty good about that. I'm just going to ignore my in-season bets for now because, boy, that didn't go as planned. But before the year, I thought Tennessee would go 8-4. They went 8-4. And Joey Aguilar was very productive. But Joey Aguilar was also very turnover prone. And still, they could have beaten Georgia. They could have beaten Alabama. The defense couldn't stop anybody against Vanderbilt at home. That was the final straw. That was the game where you went, oh, okay, yeah, a change definitely needs to be made here. So the coaching and coordinator hires in the carousel that I've given out, I've only given a few A's. Brendan Marion was that. Rob Aurick was that. Yeah, Jim Knowles is an A hire for Tennessee. Coordinator or coaches, those are the three best hires that I have seen get made this offseason. And I'm a John Summerall fan. I like Alex Golesh at Auburn. But Jim Knowles going to Tennessee, really good move for the Vols. We'll see what they do come transfer portal time when they have a chance to get their personnel back to where it's capable of being. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. And until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.